Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and thank you very much for joining me once again. So today, something a bit different. It's quite amusing for me because I have made a few comments about my problems with Meng in the recent past and the Fokker DR1 triplane specifically. This is the Wing That Wings design kit that ended up being taken on when Wing That Wings folded by Meng. Whether that was intended or not, I'm not sure, but the quality in the kit wasn't good. People seem to get very hung up about the broken parts, which is a problem, but far more serious than that is the warped wing on the B sprue, which has got all the wings on it. Tragic. I've had 8 different copies of that sprue sent to me and they've all been warped, every single one of them. I'm not going to dwell on that. I just want to redress the balance to say I'm not knocking any manufacturer, that's not what I'm about at all, but they produced a dire quality product and they still don't seem to have sorted it out. However, I just want to make the point that as a manufacturer I do not have a problem with Meng at all, just the one product. Here we have the Meng Leopard 2 A4. Now I've produced a couple of Meng kits and friends of mine, relatives have produced them, built the kits, no problems at all. They make some fantastic kits, so they can make really excellent quality. So why they went off the rails with this tripod I don't know. But today, just so people know I'm not bashing Meng, we're going to have a look at a decent one I think. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So, this is a brutal, meaty, very square looking, very Teutonic German tank, if ever there was one. Of course the Leopard came out in the early 60s, didn't it? Early mid 60s, and then they went on to the Leopard 2, and this is the later development of the Leopard 2, the A4. There was a bit of an agreement where they were going to joint develop a tank with the Americans, and that sort of fell through. So there was some agreement between America and Germany, and they decided to go their own way and build this instead. But it's got this Rheinmetall smoothbore 120mm gun, which has got this flash eliminator halfway down the barrel. So it's like a muzzle brake flash eliminator that stops the tank giving away its position. And it's got a really meaty box. This feels like a quality product, but I've got to say this feels totally superior even before I've opened the box to the triplane, because I can just tell. It's heavy, it feels well packed, it's all very sensible. Anyway, it says on the front here, I'll bring you in a bit so you can see this. It says, exterior features of a 5th batch tank. I think it means 5th generation tank. 5th batch tank are precisely represented. Options of tanks of different batches are available. Side skirts can be built with rail transport option. Easy to assemble, cement-free, workable tracks. Hey, now this is something Meng do reasonably well. The only problem is you are going to grow old and grey when you're building these tracks because they take a long time, I tell you. What with them and what with Ryefield, the pair of them, they're really labour intensive. But anyway, goes on to say easy to assemble, clear lights, periscopes and optical equipment, precision PE parts and mirror film are included. On the side we've got rather a nice depiction of the 4th Company of the 33rd Panzer Battalion. Hey, careful. This is from 1988 at Lutmerson, and on the other side we have got the German Armoured School, and that's at Munster in 1992. So without further ado, let's have a look what's inside the box, shall we? Rightio. Now then, some photo etch, and then lots of sprues. There really are a lot of them. Now this is brand new, this is not my kit. I don't own this, it's all sealed. At least we've got instructions we can look at now, that's good. So, here's the thing. Today the owner of this kit, who intends to build the kit, it's not a collector's item this one, and he said please open the bags for your review, so that's really good, isn't it? So we'll open them in the normal way and have a proper look. So we'll start off I think by just making this more organised. And we will, so I've got an itch, it's a bit summer here so I've got the old hay fever going on, itchy nose. Now then, if I can just find the bits I need, let's have a look at the instructions first. Now Meng are normally very good on things like their instructions, they're usually pretty clear actually, it's one of their strong points. So, let's see what we have in here. A lot of Chinese, which we'll kind of ignore, but there is a little bit of a history about the Leopard 2. Showing the prototypes, This A4 version though, and it explains it here. Later Germans are going to, yes, using the Bohr Eber gun. This is a traditional main gun, wild bore killer in 1971. Talks about it being used in the Yom Kippur War. The Israelis suffered major losses from anti-tank missiles used by their Arab enemies. After analysing the results of that war, Germany raised the weight of the Leopard up to 55 tonnes. So it's a heavy old tank. The A4. It's got automated fire and explosion suppression systems built in to the tank. The ammunition supply hatch in the left side of the turret is cancelled and welded shut for greater structural strength. Side skirts are modified on many of the vehicles, and on the 8th batch a muzzle reference system was involved. Germany finished production. The A4 has a 9.67 metre long width, is wide, and 55 tonne combat weight. And has the Rheinmetall 120mm smoothbore gun. 42 rounds as standard. Has an EMES gun sight. Wow, digital fire control. And you can travel at a speed up to 72 kilometres an hour. It's like 45 miles an hour. That's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. For a big tank like that, that's a serious tank. Anyway, here we go. Let's have a look at what we got. So we start off with our drive wheels. We've got the drive sprocket and the idler wheels and the main road wheels. Then we have got it's like a bathtub style hull, and then you're attaching your shock absorbers for the suspension. It's all very clear. Then there's the rear plate assembly for the back, which is where the mudguards go on as well, including the lights, etc. Then you've got your torsion bars going into your main hull here, and they go right through, so that's quite good. And then you attach all your many road wheels. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 sets of road wheels per side. So 14 sets plus 2 more for idler and drive sprocket. Then you've got engine compartment protective stiffeners. I think this is just like a little bit of additional armour plating on the critical weld points underneath your engine compartment. And that looks quite good. Is that in PE? I think it might be PE. That's very well done. And then we get into the tracks. So here we've got, this is going to take some time, folks. Tell your partner or significant other that you may be gone some time. So you've got these, they look really good actually. You've got like a rubberized section that contacts the ground. Then you've got the sort of pivoting section that has the main pins through the centre, and then you have the internal gripping sort of track that drives against the drive wheels here. Looks really cool, and then when you see it actually going on the tank, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? That looks super duper. Yes, I'm most impressed. Okay, and then we've got the upper hull going on, and you've got your fan covers for the engine cooling fans. All your little mirrors are going to go in here, be attached, complete with spare tracks, driver's hatch, lights, periscopes, etc. You've got rear view mirror, and we have these various sort of bullet deflectors like protection, and to stop bullets or shells going underneath the mantlet of the actual turret, I think, and getting into the compartment, and worse still, perhaps in some respects, actually damaging the turret's turning ring. The driver's hatch, and we've got some spare tracks going on at the front. Then we've got the air filter intake covers going on, complete with like a seal. You've got towing cables here, and then we've got all sorts of paraphernalia. We've got spades, shovels, levering tools, lifting tools, tow cables going on the back. Then you've got your side skirt components. This is protecting the armour protection of the top of the tracks. And mounting of the side skirts, so they've got a whole load of mounts that's got to go in there. And then you've got dust plugs. So what are they? That's to stop dust getting into the okay. So this is to stop dust getting into the access areas of the hatches where the panels join. There's quite a few of those. It's like a rope thing. Interesting. Tensioning dust plugs. Then we've got the actual cannon, the gun itself, 120mm Rheinmetall cannon, which I think is the same gun that's going to be on the new Challenger 3 if I'm not mistaken. So it's quite an impressive gun. Then you're building that into your sort of mounting glasses at the front. Some polycapsulated pivot, and then we have got some many periscopes going on this rather ugly looking turret, if I'm honest. The rest of the tank looks great, but the turret is brutally ugly. It's just very square looking, isn't it? Like a big oblong sort of section. Now here we've got, I'm not sure what's happening here, we've got some, looks like a British Army tanker to me, tanky. He seems to be shouting something at you in Chinese. I think he's telling you to split the decal, so that you can have the access hatch open, so you don't end up with a gap or with it getting damaged when you go over the gap. And you can see that the actual, what I meant about this ugly turret that's going down on top. It's really not a pretty turret, is it? If you know what I mean. Very square, very oblong. Lot of space in it though, I suspect. It looks big, doesn't it? And we've got some access panels and hatches going on the back, and then we've got your sighting equipment, which is going to go on. It's complete with windscreen wiper, if you can see there. The wiper here. That's good, isn't it? That's very cool. I like the instructions. They're nice and clear, not over fussy or complicated. That's a bit. Putting on all your hatches and your sighting equipment going in there, plus some handrails, stowage rails on the side, sight protection cover going on there. I seem to have thought of everything. And then you've got an MG30, pretty sure that's an MG34. Certainly looks like an MG34, it looks like that's the World War II machine gun. Is that my imagination? It says MG3, does it mean that? Because it looks like an MG34, or even the 43. MG43? Anyway, we won't get into that. Loader's hatches going in here. And then we've got Commander's hatch, gunfire simulator, which is what that's all about. And then there's a winch, and you got all your main turret hatches then actually going into the turret itself, complete with smoke discharges and your winch going on the side. Same on the other side, same again, and then all the final little bits, various periscopes, ventilation pipes, aerials for the radio, handrails for grabbing onto, and then again we seem to have this British looking tanker shouting at you in Chinese. I'm not quite sure what he's saying this time. Maybe he's telling you to paint the inside of the gunfire simulators, as they call them. It's possible, isn't it? And then you put your turret on at the end, and that's the job done, really. Then it just shows the sprue trees, and then we're into the paint guide. So you can see there we've got the Munster 92 scheme. And in fact, the paint scheme I think is the same for all of them. It's just different markings. That's all. Here we've got the Luftwaffe 33rd Panzer Battalion in '88, and then there's Letzlingen 2005 Combat Training Centre here. But as I say, the actual camo is the same for all of them. Well, there we go. Okay, so initial impressions from the instructions are very good. Can't say anything at all. I don't have any problems with there. It looks really fine. So, as I say, I'm not anti-Meng. I'm just anti-bad Meng. This looks like a good one. Right, let's have a look. Now I'm going to cut the bags open. So this is a bit of an honour, really. Not often I get to do that on a new kit. Let's try and do it very sensitively if I possibly can. Let me go back in. There's as much bag left as possible. zoom you in so you can see this. Very dark. Is it black? Plastic? It's kind of a... my eyes can't even tell. Is it dark green? It's very dark. But it looks very, very good. So this is the top of the hull, obviously. You've got lots of this anti-skid for the tank crews to walk around on here. Very, very good. Look at that. Beautifully moulded. It's got like a satiny finish, and then you've got this matty anti-skid walkway section. Lots of it all around the tank. You can see it's all over the back as well for them to put the feet on. So I guess the idea is that it's almost an indicator of where they should and shouldn't stand, isn't it? It's telling them to, you know, walk here and don't walk anywhere else. So, for example, don't walk on the air cooling fan covers on the back of the engine cover. But some great detail on it. Look at this. That's really nice, isn't it? Wow, that's superb. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's a really nice, beautiful, sharp moulding. Look at the access stowage boxes on the side. Very, very nicely done. Like it. Put that there. This is the bathtub style of the hull. Yeah, it's got all the sort of housings for the torsion bars here. Very, very nicely done. There's the escape hatch underneath. Any of you that watch the Fury movie, where the Sherman gets surrounded and one guy manages to escape from it, you'll know that that's very important if all else fails. Oh, that's really nice. I mean, again, some fine details here. Look at the housing here for the idler wheels. Good detail there. Excellent. Yes, like it very much. What the fit's like. Let's check that. No, we can't because there's a little bit of flash. It'll have to be removed first, but I get the impression that's going to go together like a Swiss watch. Well, that's very good. Put that one back. So far, so good. It's looking like a bit of a masterpiece, actually, if I'm honest. It certainly looks better than their World War I attempt, doesn't it? So that goes there. Very good. Now, second, the turret itself. Let's have a look at that. I think I can, again, cut this a bit more sensitively so it doesn't just rip through everything. And it makes it easier to put it back together afterwards. There we go. There we are. Well, though I think the tank is very ugly, or not the tank, but the turret is incredibly ugly on this tank. But it's beautifully moulded. Look at that. Oh yes, that's so nice. Again, it's got these high grip areas for the tankies to walk on here. So it's like a guide to where they should step. But it's very, very nicely moulded. You know, it's almost sort of resin standard, isn't it, rather than your normal injection moulded plastic. It's really fine. Look at that. Yes. But it's not a looker, that turret, is it? It's just like a great chunk of metal. Okay. I mean, the rest of the tank looks quite sort of sleek. It's a bit like the Merkava, but not the turret. Definitely not. Anyway, nothing wrong with that. That's good. Now then, what have we got here? Oh, we've got some sort of rubbery parts here. What does that do? Okay, this is the bit that... This goes as a bit, I think, that goes around the... it's like the back of the barrel, where it goes into the housing, the mantlet. Or the glasses, I should say. Yeah, it's like a rubbery, soft rubbery material, polymer, you know. And what looks like, these look like universal joint rubbers, don't they? Or similar. and then you've got lots and lots and lots of polycaps. So that's very good. Let me go in. Which one do they go in? Let me go into the main. There. Now then, some clear parts. I think just for the sake of safety, I'm not going to open the clear parts because I think that it's not really necessary. There's not many of them and they're very small. They're not critical parts on a tank, are they? So it's just periscopes basically, isn't it? There's lots and lots of them. Can you see that? Loads of periscopes. Yeah. There we go. They look nice. Very good. Nothing wrong with them. And then we've got the wheels. Let's look at these. Wheels. Put in safely. Without doing too much bag damage. Right. 2 sets of wheels. Oh yeah, these are good. How about this? Those are really good. Nice and sharp. And you can see here that all the little nuts and bolts I should say on the wheels are well replicated there. That's really nice. And there's 2 sets of them obviously. Yeah, I mean they're really flash free and sharp. You know, you've got a clear sort of lip. There's a clear lip to the edge where the actual rubber of the, you know, the sort of tyre bit of the road wheel is. So that's very, very nice. And then tracks. Oh boy. I think we'll open them because they are quite an intricate design. You'll have seen those, I think. It's a little bit of an unusual style, isn't it, on this Leopard. I nearly said Panther and then I nearly said Tiger. I do that every time. Right, we've got many, many, many of these. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what's going on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues the same, and it's all 4 of the components. So you've got, you've seen that you've got outer tread, inner tread. You've got the pivot between each link, which are these, and then I think there's another section somewhere where you have like pins, if I'm mistaken. I think what they do is they just basically clip together. So you've got 4 different components essentially, and they're pretty good. I like the way they've done these sort of rubber blocks. It looks very light rubber. It looks like a real track. Very nice. And there's like a jig, of course. Here it is. The jig for you to place them in, so you get it precise every time. Don't worry about ejector pins. It's just a functional item. So that goes in there. And then, as I say, 4 sets of those. I'll pop those back safely. The moulding course is staggeringly good. So much better than the triplane. I'm sorry to mention it again, but you know, this is the very best that we've seen from me, and the triplane was the very worst, frankly. I'm going to get into this. I wish they'd do these resealable backs like other people do. Great Wall Hobby and people like that, you know. Ryefield do it as well, don't they? They have a resealable bag. Now then, this is a big old sprue. There we are. Now then, look at this. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on here. I think that we've got those engine covers, and you can see there that this is where those cooling, the sort of fanned cooling vents go on the top and the mesh. I think there's some photo etch that will cover that. Let's just check that, because otherwise we're going to get ahead of ourselves. Yes, there you can see it. See, there we are. So that's the actual aperture. That's the outside, isn't it? And that's the actual mesh that goes on the top of it. So anyway, back to the plastic. superb moulding. I mean, look at the fineness and the sharpness of this. Look at that. That looks absolutely stunning. Got some really nice, crisp. Even on top of the drivers of the commander's hatch, you've even got that non-slip grip, foot grip material on the top of the hatch, look, which is really good. And then you've got all your side skirt protection system across the top there. This I thought this was photo etched. It isn't. This is this added protection for the underneath the engine compartment here. Sort of blast protection, just to reinforce it in. Basically, what I think it does, it's where the weld points are on the hull to protect the weld points from blast. And then we've got towing hooks here, hooks and eyes. You've got mud guards here. Yeah, it's a lovely sprue. Flawless, to be honest. There's no flash, it's not warped, it's not broken. So why can't they do that with other things then, huh? Let's have a look. I think this time I'm just going to go for a straight cut, to be honest. Right, here we are. This time we've got some more side protection with the mounting points. Let's just zoom in on this. There we go. Part of the side protection side skirt system. And here we have got the main run of it, so to speak. And here we've got the top of the turret, which is big and chunky. And we've got the driver's protection hatch here, armoured hatch. Again, a lovely sprue. No flash. Well, actually, there is one bit of flash. Just one bit of flash there, but it's just off the part. It's not actually attached to the part. It's just attached to the connection gate. So we won't worry about that. The parts themselves are super. And now, another busy sprue. I think there's twins here. Twin sprues. Right. Now, look at this. So here we've got these torsion bars we spoke of. And we've got these cooling fan covers. On top of which, of course, you put the photo etch grill. You've got your drive sprockets. That looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm liking this kit a lot. I've got to be honest. I've not seen a flaw in it yet, and given my other Meng experiences recently, I've not been as good as that. This is very pleasant news. Bit of a relief, really. I'm having a bit of focus trouble. Come on. What's it doing? I'm to sleep. Right, here's your torsion bars. Now look at these. These look really nice, don't they? They're really cool. Yeah. So you've got all the torsion bars. You've got all your links, torsion bar links. Hydraulic. It's like a hydraulic pump there, oil pump. For the idler wheel, I think it is. It's quite a soft plastic. It's yes, it's almost got a rubbery feel to it almost. I'd say. You can see it there. As it make this out, flex it in front of the camera a bit more. Try this. You can see it. It feels quite rubbery, quite springy, you know. It's not super rigid like Tamiya or Zokimura, something like that, or Wings even. It's a bit more, yeah, softly formed, I'd say. There's two of those, so we put the other one away. Back in its bag. So far, I don't think it's the prettiest of tanks, but it's a very pretty model so far. Anyway. Yeah, we're quite impressed. Quite impressed. I'll try and undo the untidying, as I'll call it. It doesn't look as you don't lose as much then, do you? There we go. Now then. So here's the top of the. It's the front top section of the top of the hull. Really quite impressive as well. Look at this. And this is including some of this. What do they call it? This dust elimination cord. And you can see here. In fact, I'm wrong, aren't I? It's the top deck. It's the top rear deck. It's not the front. It's the back. I think that goes at the rear, and this is facing forwards, I think, this direction. And then you've got this, again, this almost tiger-like, brutal mantlet. Look at that. There's no thought to make this look sleek, was there? But that's fine. And then you've got, again, some lovely details. Look at these parts here with all this access hatch going on. You've got the gun, the cannon, look. That's the Rheinmetall gun, look at that. The muzzle brake flashing emanator halfway down the gun. That looks superb. It's a nice kit. It's a nice kit. There's one or two marks within the plastic, but I don't think any of those will be seen once you've painted it. I think that just becomes academic, really. Well, that's a nice sprue. And then I think we've just got one more to go. Let's just cut that ugly end off. So, there we go. Now then, what have we got here? Alright, I've got it the wrong way up. There we go, this is the right way. So we've got your shock absorbers here for the suspension. There we go. Get some focus, thank you. That's very good. Towing eyes here. You've got your MG, well they say it's the MG3, but it looks awful like an MG34/43 to me. I'm not sure about that. And you've got your lights. And all these tools. There's a pickaxe and there's a track, like a crowbar tool for prizing the tracks apart. You've got an access hatch there, or a cover I should say. That's some sort of access hatch here. A couple of other hatches and vents, and you've got your winch, rope winch, tow cable winch I should say, here. Just two sides of it. And one or two small components that I'm not sure what they are actually. There's a lot of parts, quite a high part count in this, but it doesn't look excessive. And even the tracks, whilst it's going to be a bit soul destroying, and it's take your will to live, that will, but they always do. It's the same story unless you buy pre-prepared tracks. But fundamentally, this feels like a top-of-the-range kit, I've got to be honest. I did see recently, I didn't review it, but I did see the Resealable Challenger 2, and that was another absolute stonky-looking kit. And this looks like something very similar, actually. It's right up there with it, really, I think, for quality. And as I say, it shows that Meng are not a bad manufacturer. They've just made a silly decision when they built that triplane. So, I won't get into that anymore. I've said my piece many times. So, let us give our judgment. Oh, we haven't quite finished. We've missed something, haven't we? We haven't done our decals, or our photo etch. Now then, what have we got? We've got some tow rope here. Where you've got, tow rope, and we've got decals, Meng, printed in Italy by Cartograph. So you're not going to have any trouble with them. And we've got this grill vents I talked about earlier on. I wonder if I can just encourage this to open. I could open it, but let's just... Well, go on then. It's in a resealable bag. We'll open this. I don't open things if I can avoid it, but as it's resealable, it's not an issue, is it? Shouldn't make any mess. Okay, now then. Oh right, that's nice. It's in a bag within a bag. I won't take it out of the inner bag, there's no need. But you can see what we've got here. We've got this more mesh, more of these like minor grills here. And it looks very, very fine, doesn't it? You've got some structure for the mesh, that I think that goes underneath the mesh. The grill, I should say. Really nice. Superb. Well, and you got also here you've got your mirror glass for the mirrors, which is really good. So you don't have to paint. Maybe you can paint it with something like a Molotow pen or something like that, but it's much nicer if you can. Much nicer if you can get mirror glass already done for you, I think. So that is impressive. So, whoops, the daisy, has that gone in properly? Yes, it has. No, it hasn't. It's been awkward. There we go. Sorted. So then, what's the verdict on this? I have to be honest, that's the nicest main kit since the Merkava that I saw. Another nice tank that they did. And I really can't find anything wrong with it. Maybe the instructions could be a bit better with maybe a bit more photography. I think that would be helpful, you know. I don't know why manufacturers can't put a bit more of the background data in, like Zukimura, Tamiya, and Wingnut Wings did, of course. Those manufacturers do that. I think that Meng are just being a bit lazy. So I'm going to mark them down just to 9 out of 10, but maybe I've been a bit picky. The kit is beautiful, to be honest. Totally superior to the disaster that was the triplane. So frankly, Meng, yes, you can make beautiful kits, so please go back to doing that. Okay, 9 out of 10 from me, thumbs up from me. Definitely recommend the kit. I won't be put off by that minor criticism. Maybe 9.5 might have been even fairer, but it's a good kit. It's beautiful. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting. If you like armour, if you can live with the look of the Leopard 2A4's turret, I'm not sure if I could, then actually it's a really impressive kit. You won't be disappointed, I don't think, with that one. Don't think you're going to go wrong with it. I think you'll have a very pleasant building experience. Anyway, hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 maybe. Give us a thumbs up anyway. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you should definitely do that, because then you'll get forthcoming notifications, especially if you ding the notification bell. And you can see, I think I've got the best part of 300 videos now, which are mainly 250 or so are kit reviews. Most of them are Matchbox classics, and we've got 1 or 2 other interesting classics from Airfix and people like that. A few modern ones as well, some right up to date. But including the Wingnut Wings and the Matchbox, I think the channel's worth watching if you're into that sort of thing, just for those 2 ranges alone. Hope you will come back and see us again soon, and that we'll enjoy your company in the not too distant future. In the meantime, just suffices for me to say thank you very much for joining me. Please stay safe, look after yourselves. Thanks very much, and bye for now.